So here's a project that we're working on. Some 30 millimeter forks. We've got 3 sets here. Just shirt out of the way. And we're going to finish these up. And I'm going to show you how to disassemble them if you've never done that before, how they come apart, what's inside. So let me get the camera on a tripod and we'll get to work. Here we are over at the table, and I have the forks here. Again, we've loosened everything up over on the bike, and the first thing we're going to do is take the top cap off and drain the oil. So the cap comes off. There's a little bit of spring pressure in there. Not too much, it's not going to like blow off. Some of the forks have a spacer, some of the forks don't have a spacer. At this point, have your oil container. You can just dump this out into the oil, and when you dump it out, there'll be a small washer on top of the spring, and the spring may pop out. Will kind of pop out in the oil anyways. Drain it out, pump it. 5 to 6 ounces of oil should come out. It's going to be all crappy looking and stuff. You can then pull the spring out, let it drain. I've already drained the oil on this just to make it cleaner when I do the demonstration. Anyways, after you drain the oil, put the spring back in. You don't need the spacer or the washer, and put the top cap nut back on. The reason for this is we're going to loosen the dampening bolt on the bottom, which is an Allen right in there. And I like to use an impact on that. Just a small little impact is fine. The spring puts pressure on the dampener to keep it from spinning on the inside. Goes right up in there. Hold on to the lower. And there's the Allen. There's a small little red fiber washer. It's stayed in there, so it's fine if it stays in there. I've already washed these forks and it still stayed in there. So, but just keep aware of it. Sometimes they fall out, so you want to make sure you get it back in when you put it back together. Then take the cap back off. Pull the spring out. Loosen the seal nut. And then the whole assembly will pull apart. There's an empty lower right there. Here's your dampening rod. So this is what holds all your forks together when this dampening rod is held in with the Allen from the bottom here. And then when this comes up, it's not going to pull out. Anyways, you can take that out. That's what it looks like. And you have a couple bushings here, a metal bushing. Again, some of the forks have this plastic bushing, some don't. So there's all your fork right there disassembled. Sorry. Take it over to the your washer or what you have, and wash all the parts really clean. And then you're ready to reassemble. To reassemble, your dampening rod, this little part goes down in first, comes out the bottom. Then your spring, the tight coils went in first. Oops. We got the plastic bushing, the metal bushing. They all go right in. Sorry, that one upside down. Fit right in there like that. The seal cap has a seal on there. You got to be careful when you have a new seal on there. Kind of lube it up, finagle it around, get it on there. Screw it down. Again, at this point, just put the cap on so we could get that Allen tightened. Again, I like to use the impact. Goes right through the hole in the bottom, into that hole, and then. So again, the pressure of the spring is what's holding the dampening rod from spinning, because there's really nothing, this is round on top, there's nothing you could grab it with. Some people will have the spring out and they'll stick like a broom handle or something down in there. That sometimes works, but I just prefer to do it this way. And then take the spring cap off again. At this time, then you'll pull the spring out. I like that when you add your oil with the spring out. It's 6 ounces, I believe, but check your book. Add your oil. Sometimes after the oil's in there, just pump this a few times to get the oil going into the dampener. Reinstall your spring. Don't forget your little washer. You're going to put in your preload spacer. And sometimes on the cap, I like to put a little anti-seize before I screw it on. But they're not hard. Just put some pressure down. And it's on. You could, when you put it back in the bike, you could finally get a good, tighten the seal nut up, tighten the top nut up, and then you're good to go. Okay, I want to show you how I replace the seals in the seal nut cap. I use a old fork lower tube as just a holder in the vise, and I take the nut cap and I screw it on. I use the seal puller tool. Make sure you get this just under the lip of the seal. And gently rotate it, or give each side. I just rotate this so I'm pushing against the vise. Sometimes you have to heat this up a little bit, but just nice and easy. Here it comes. Just like that. So here's the fork nut. I found a socket. This happens to be a 1 1/4. It fits right down in there and right on the seal. And I just put the little extension in this way to press. Make sure you get the seal going in the right direction. You could see that the puller marked a couple little marks on the fork nut, but that's where it's covered by the dust seal. Usually get this started nice and even. Get it started. And just nice, gently push. Make sure it's going down even. Don't smash on it. And there you go.